Hi guys, it's Saturday. I am almost to Flagstaff. It's graduation day, so the semester officially ended yesterday. I was, as of last night when I went to bed, I was caught up on my grading. I had one student who hadn't turned in a final project, so I will have to check on that. It was due at midnight last night, and at 10:30 she hadn't turned it in, so I hope she did, otherwise she won't be passing. Anyway, so I'll have to do that when I get home this afternoon. But today's graduation day, and what time is it? It's about 20 minutes to 8. Graduation doesn't start until 10, and I don't have to be on the floor. I work graduation. Now, faculty members are required to go to graduation, but a lot of us will volunteer to work the ceremony, meaning that we are the ones hustling the students from one place to another and just kind of making the event happen. I like to do that because otherwise I think it's boring to just, semester after semester after semester to just sit through graduation. I think it's kind of boring. So I like to work. And the particular position that they put me in every year is one that they have been for the past couple of years, is a position that I love doing because, I said to the girl who organizes the ceremony, she said, what kind of a job do you want? And I said, just one where I can tell people what to do. So this particular job, I basically tell people what to do for 2 hours, in a nice way. So the semester is over, and I can now relax after today. And then I have 3 weeks of no NAU work at all, and then the summer session will start up. So I have to do a little bit to get my classes ready to be taught, and then that's pretty much it. Of course, I've got my writing stuff that I'm doing. Thanks for your understanding on my taking a break for a couple of weeks there. It was very weird at the beginning to get in the car and not turn on the camera to talk to you guys. There would be things that would happen, and I'd think, I need to show you. Yeah, I'm taking a break. And so it was a little bit strange at first, and but it was good. I'm glad I did that, just because filming a video is not that difficult. In fact, it's very easy and fun. It's just all the processing and editing and stuff that goes with it that takes time. And I was doing a lot of videos there for a little while, so I don't know. I say I'll ease myself back in. I'll probably get back in full force, me. But yeah, so it's a lovely, lovely day up here in Flagstaff. Let's see. It's 57 degrees and really just beautiful up here for this early in the morning, especially. I hope it's not supposed to be windy. John is going to an event up here today called the Overland Expo, and it's kind of like, everything having to do with roughing it, and so his truck, he's going to sell his truck, and so he thought it would be, he likes going to the Overland Expo to begin with, but it's a great place for him to sell his truck. He's gone the last couple of years, and people have stopped him to talk about his truck, and now this year, it's for sale, so he was making a sign with all the details about the truck as I was leaving the house. And so his truck has got this flip pack. It flips open into a tent on top, and it has a 17-gallon heated water tank with a shower hookup and a refrigerator, freezer, and all kinds of, it's just pretty snazzy. So hopefully we'll find a buyer there today. It's kind of the kind of event where people who would want that kind of vehicle would be. So I think it's good that he's going to go to that. But anyway, so it looks like I beat traffic. I did beat traffic getting here. I left early. I don't have to be ready for like out on the floor for graduation until 9 o'clock. And here it is, 7:45. But I was afraid that I was going to hit traffic with a bunch of families coming up from Phoenix for graduation. I mean, there would be. That I-17 just gets, almost to a standstill because of so many people coming up for graduation. And so, since I was going to be on that same road, I just needed to get out of town and, get out of here so I could, so I could not get caught in the traffic because I'm working graduation. I have to be here. So, okay, I'm here now. So that's that. If I remember, I will try to film a little bit of graduation, and I'll talk to you guys. It's so exciting. I love graduation. Hey guys, like my sunglasses? These are those things from my niece's wedding they gave out. I couldn't find my glasses in the car. I'm on my way over to church this morning. It's Sunday, and I'm singing. So heading over to do that. Oh yeah, I wanted to mention that, well, John is not doing worship this month, but his job that he got, which is, a float position, meaning he goes to different places around the area on different days. He actually, he's got a schedule booked out for the next couple of months, and it's looking like there are going to be some night shifts that he does, but for the most part, it's looking like a lot of his things are weekday shifts, which means he'll be able to do worship ministry still, so that's really cool. Anyway, I woke up this morning, well, after I got home from graduation yesterday, or from Flagstaff yesterday, after graduation was done. I had gone to see my dad. Did I mention that? I went to see my dad, and he was not good. He was really, he was fine. It wasn't like he was sick, but he just seemed really out of it. Sorry, it's a weird light on my face. But he just was really out of it. Just kind of looking at me like, anyway. But he has those kind of days, off and on days. So it just seems like he's sort of been that way for the last couple of weeks, a little bit more out of it than usual. My mother-in-law is doing great. She's had her second round of chemo, and she's not feeling sick yet. She's feeling a little like intestinal trouble, if you know what I mean, but not like sick, barfing flu, anything like that. But she's got, like 4 months ahead of her of chemo, so I'm sure that time will be coming. So, but she's got great spirits. So anyway, and then also, I guess today's Mother's Day, huh? Happy Mother's Day to all of you out there who are mothers. It's weird at church for me on Mother's Day, because usually, at least at our other churches, that kids will pass out flowers to all the mothers. And people keep just shoving flowers in my face. I'm like, I'm not a mom. Finally, I just got to where I just take the flowers so people stop shoving flowers in my face. And I kind of wonder what it would be like to be a person who desperately wanted children but couldn't have them. And then have, I probably would avoid going to church on Mother's Day if that were the case. But anyway, John and I both got our mothers special little treats for Mother's Day from Sherry'sBerries.com, and so we got they have like strawberries dipped in chocolate, so we got some of those for each of our mothers, and then for John's mom, we got these chocolate fancy chocolate dipped pretzels, and for my mom we got these little truffle cakes, and so just something kind of different. Okay, so I came home yesterday. The student who had to turn in her work still had submitted her stuff on time the night before, so that was good. Got her stuff graded, and then I went to the main university site for recording grades, and got my grades recorded, and then, you know, didn't really think much about, oh, I'm finished, you know, whatever. But I woke up this morning and I just had this feeling of lightness, like, oh, the semester really is over. I mean, this was a doozy of a year for me. As you guys know, this school year was quite something, you know, starting off with planning a move, moving into both of my dogs dying, and then, you know, just my dad's health and my mother-in-law's stuff, and, you know, all this. It was a doozy of a year. So I'm just kind of looking forward to this, you know. And we found a dog on this one Humane Society website, and thought, oh, maybe that will be, you know, a good dog to get. It's a little puppy, and but we were looking up. This little puppy is a fox terrier, and we were kind of looking up the characteristics of. I mean, I imagine she's not a purebred fox terrier, but she looks an awful lot like a fox terrier. And I just don't think that a fox terrier is going to be good for us. They're diggers. They run. They like to run away. They run after things. And while we have a nice big yard for that kind of thing, we also would have, you know, I don't know. I just imagine a dog like that trying to dig and get out of our yard, and that wouldn't be great. So I don't know. But the fact that John brought it up this morning, so I thought, oh, you know, he's kind of into this thing a little bit more, because he was saying the other day that he was, you know, kind of indifferent about the idea of getting a puppy, that if I wanted to get one, great, but if I just said I wanted to have cats forever and never have a dog, he'd be fine with that too. And I thought, that's no way to go into getting an animal. So the fact that he got up this morning and started talking about whether or not we should get this one particular dog is a good sign to me that he's thinking he'd like to get a dog. So, because it really is a situation where we either need to get the dog now, like within the next few weeks, or we need to wait until after I retire, because I have to have time to train this dog, and we can't get you know, we can't get a really young dog right as I'm going back to work in August. And so in that case, you know, if we didn't have a chance to train the dog a little bit before then, it would just be best to wait until December. But then in December, it's hard to find puppies. You know, it's not, I mean, dogs are born all the time, but there's clearly a puppy season. So there's going to be a greater selection of them at this point. Okay, I'm just rambling. But I am feeling very light and free today. I am planning to go to the grocery store after church today. I am going to be making some recipes out of my Plant Pure Nation cookbook, and also a new cookbook I have called Vegan Mexico. Very excited about trying some yummy vegan Mexican food recipes. So, and I don't cook Mexican food that much. I mean, occasionally I'll make tacos, and sometimes I'll make enchiladas, and then, you know, I'll wrap things up in a burrito. But as far as cooking something that is Mexican, I rarely do that. So this will be kind of fun. And one of them's a tamale recipe. I've never made masa, so it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Hey, you guys, Sunday evening, I am watching a movie, and I am going to I'm actually going to pickle some radishes. I have, I've been harvesting tons of spinach and lettuce and radishes from my garden, and I made a soup out of a bunch of radishes last week, and then now I have this bag here of some white radishes. I don't know what kind they are, actually, because the seed packet was like mixed radishes, and so some of them are red and some are pink, and just the ones that were ready this time were white ones. And so anyway, I'm going to use a quick pickling recipe. I found one online by Tyler Florence. I will link that for you in the space below. And you just basically mix up some pickling spices with champagne vinegar and some sugar and, I don't know, garlic, and then bring it to a boil, and then you pour it over the top of the radishes. And the recipe just says, you know, seal it off and let it cool, and then they're ready to eat. I'm actually going to put them in a canning jar, but then put them in the refrigerator. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay, that's it. I didn't use all of the radishes. They didn't all fit in this jar. There were about 3 of them that didn't, so I'm just going to use those on salads. But I made my own pickling spice. I just looked it up online and found one that has like, allspice and clove and cinnamon and some mustard seeds and stuff like that, bunch of stuff like that. And so anyway, then you bring everything to a boil, I think, as I said before, and put it all in here. This should pop in a matter of minutes, and then I'll let it come to room temperature, and then I'll put it in the refrigerator. I'm not a real fan of things that are pickled, although I will try this, but John is, and so he was even the one who suggested that I pickle these radishes, and so I'm sure he will love them. Morning, you guys. It is Monday, and as you can see, I'm boiling some eggs here. This is kind of an experiment. This one right here, the brown one, is one from the grocery store. And these 3 are fresh eggs. About a week ago, a neighbor came by and gave us a dozen fresh chicken eggs. I've always heard that fresh eggs don't do very well as hard-boiled eggs because they're so fresh that it's hard to get the peel off. So this John this morning said, "Hey, could you make me some hard-boiled eggs?" And I said, "Well, let's see how it goes." So we thought we would at least try to see what happens when you try to boil a fresh egg. And so, yeah, so that's what I'm doing today. Well, that's not what I'm doing all day. It's how I'm starting my morning. I'm starting a new freelance project today. In a few minutes, I'm going to go out for a walk. I've started a new Bible study thing that I'm really enjoying. I'll have to tell you guys about that. And I need to clean my house. I'll give you guys a look at my garden. So the tomatoes and my greens, I've been harvesting a bowl this big every other day. And I started another patch of stuff. This one, can you see in there, there's some little tomatoes growing. That's the only plant that I've seen tomatoes actually growing on. My potatoes are starting to grow. I'm putting tomatillos over here, and I have garlic already in, but the tomatillos aren't ready to come out. In the back, those bigger ones are artichokes, and I have my onion sets and my beans and my peas, and the front row here is where my radishes are. I have broccoli over here, carrots, kohlrabi, over here cucumbers, acorn squash, pumpkin, spaghetti squash, patty pan, zucchini, butternut squash, horn melon, watermelon, loofah, and a Mexican cucumber, more artichokes, asparagus that we've been harvesting. I've been harvesting off of for several weeks now. There's a couple over here that are ready and one over this way, but that's going to be the end of it for the asparagus, I think. They only bloom in the spring. And then these are peppers that I just put out, so that's why they have walls of water around them to keep them from getting blasted by the sun. In between these two, I have some garlic, and then here in this space I have Swiss chard. I also started kind of tucked in these various spaces. I have put in more greens and also more garlic. So I tuck in greens, garlic, and onions anywhere I can. Greens just because you can grow them pretty much anywhere. And the garlic and onions I tuck in because they're really good to ward off pests. So I guess probably because they're smelly, they keep pests away from plants. So why not just grow them? Why take an entire garden bed for your onions and garlic when you can plant them someplace where they'll do double duty? So here's what I harvested. I'm going to take some of this and put it in the refrigerator unwashed, so that we can rinse it right before it's used in salads. And then the rest of it I'm going to go ahead and rinse and pat dry and then freeze for smoothies. Dinner tonight is vegan enchiladas. These have zucchini and artichokes inside. That were roasted in the oven, and then there's a sauce on top that's made of vegan sour cream mixed with salsa verde, and then I added on top some vegan jalapeno cheese. It's kind of like a jalapeno Havarti, which sounds really weird, Havarti, to put on enchiladas, but it really doesn't taste like a Havarti. So anyway, good stuff. So I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find that recipe online, but I'm going to look for it because it was super yummy. Really, really good. So yeah, anyway. I mean, you could make it easily yourself. Artichokes, chopped up, zucchini, salt, pepper, roasted for 25 minutes. Wrapped in a tortilla, and the sauce is just a store-bought green salsa. Pureed with vegan sour cream, and then I put that that cheese on top of it, that vegan cheese. So really good. I'm heading out for my walk, but as I'm walking across my yard, I'm looking at all of these blossoming clover patches in my yard. I'm gonna come out and get some more. I don't know if clover blossoms all summer long, or if it's just for a period of time, but I've made a couple batches of that clover jelly, and it's really good. It tastes like honey. I mean, who would have thought that it tastes just like honey? So I need to come out and gather more. Hi you guys, it is Wednesday morning. I just went down and picked a bunch of honeysuckle blossoms from my neighbor's big bushes, and she said I could. I checked with her. Anyway, now I'm going to make honeysuckle blossom jelly in the same way that I made clover blossom jelly. You'll have to look for the video about this if you're interested in trying it out yourself. It's super easy to make. Guys, we're in Phoenix right now. It is Thursday. My niece's graduation is tonight, and so we came down a little bit early. It's about 2:30. We're going to stop at Rubio's, which is one of our favorite places to eat, and we don't live near one, and so we love the fish tacos there. So I'm going to have one of my animal protein things. And so then we're going to go pick up movie tickets for my niece's graduation present. Then we're going to go see my mother-in-law. I put together a little care package for her. She's had her 3rd chemo treatment, and so I've got a little package of all like skincare kind of things, because chemo kind of wreaks havoc on your skin. And then we're gonna go over and see my brother-in-law and sister-in-law, and then tonight the graduation's at 7.